Hey everyone, Kyle Walker here. If you love cars, fixing things, or just want to understand your vehicle better, you're in the right place. I share hands-on tips, smart driving advice, and straight-up car talk without the fluff. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around till the end. You don't want to miss what's coming up. Let's get into it.
Operation of a vehicle by default involves not only its use for personal or work purposes, but also regular maintenance for perfect functioning of the car. Car care implies both regular technical maintenance, consisting in repair and replacement of consumable elements and parts, and the purchase of some new components for the car, which have a limited service life. One of such elements is the shoes for transport. Tires, which have the property to wear out in the process of operation, which predetermines the need for their replacement as the tread wears out. Tires for vehicles, especially those of a decent weight category, are not budget purchases, which makes car owners look for ways to save money on the product. In European countries, a common method of saving on tires for cargo category vehicles is tread welding, which allows you to restore their functionality and extend the operational life of the rubber. Let's consider the relevance of this procedure, the advantages of tire welding compared to buying new rubber, and the possibility of carrying out the process at home. Why and when tire tread welding is necessary. Vehicle tires, their quality and performance characteristics directly affect the handling and maneuverability of the vehicle through traction. As the tread wears out, the grip of the rubber with the road surface decreases, which affects the safety of transport and can be punished by law enforcement agencies. Every driver is obliged to replace tires when they wear out to a critical minimum. Previously, the only option for this process was to purchase a new set of tires. Now, modern technology allows you to restore old tires by welding them. Welding of tires is a modern process of restoration of worn tread pattern, performed according to special technologies, allowing to extend the operational life of the rubber without deterioration of its quality indicators. The essence of the process consists in removing the old tread down to the cord, and then welding the rubber onto the base by cold or hot vulcanization in specialized devices. The procedure is used to restore the operational resource of tires mainly for truck wheels, which by their design have a more powerful, durable carcass compared to tires for passenger cars. Structurally, tires for passenger cars and trucks differ in load parameters, which predetermines the production of rubber for heavy vehicles to produce it on the basis of a very strong cord that can withstand significant loads. Such features allow, in case of tread abrasion, to use the cord as a base element for a new tire, and the tread can be restored in this way not once, and the reconstructed rubber will not be inferior in quality, properties, and technical features of new products. For cars of passenger category can also be applicable to this procedure. However, professionals assure that the restoration of the tire in this way is possible no more than once, and the cost-effectiveness of the process depends on the class of available tires. Advantages of tire restoration by welding. Almost every car owner has had to face the replacement of rubber on his vehicle, or to estimate the approximate cost of a new set of tires. For owners of trucks, this process is very painful from a financial point of view, as the cost of rubber in the present time is more than high. Wheel restoration by welding is a relatively new process in Russia, which makes the car owner weigh the cost-effectiveness of the procedure in comparison with the purchase of products, to evaluate the profitability of the operation from the position of the ratio of price and quality characteristics of the restored rubber. Read also, what are airless tires, where they are used, and what advantages they have in favor of carrying out tire tread restoration. Specialists and professionals position the following advantages of welding. The financial cost-effectiveness of the process is the first and main plus of the procedure. Restoration of a worn tire will cost the car owner much cheaper than buying a new tire, and the difference in price is often about 40% of the cost. The process refers to universal. Modern technologies allow to extend the operational resource of any wheel, regardless of model, parameters, and class affiliation. Welding tread can be performed more than once, which allows you to operate tires for a long time with minimal financial costs. The procedure, when it is carried out in specialized centers, is carried out in compliance with all technological processes that are used in the manufacture of new rubber which guarantees excellent quality and decent performance of the restored products. As a result, tire welding is an excellent way to save on vehicle maintenance without accompanying loss of quality, which indicates the cost-effectiveness of the restoration measures. Welding tires with your own hands. The possibility of restoring car tires for vehicle owners is a great option to save money. Modern craftsmen to save even more, not to pay for the services of employees of service centers, actively began to wonder how to weld rubber at home, whether it is possible to perform this process independently, and what it will take. Car owners assure that welding tires is feasible at home. However, to carry out the restoration, you need to have specific equipment. In addition, it is important to approach the process responsibly, as the wheels, although they do not act as elements that directly affect the functionality of the vehicle, predetermine the safety of the car on the road, which is considered a priority quality for every driver. Before starting the restoration process, it is worth carefully examining the condition of the wheels that have fallen into disrepair, assessing them for the presence of obvious cracks, chips, and cuts on the rubber surfaces. If such defects are present, characterized by a deep location, with damage to the cord, then the restoration measures will be unprofitable. It is impossible to restore the tread. Preference should be given to the standard option of replacing the rubber with the preliminary purchase of new tires. The absence of critical damage to the tires indicates that restoration measures can be started. The process should start with removal of the old layer of rubber by means of a special machine, with a focus on obtaining an ideal, evenly thick tire with smooth, rounded edges. If in the process of removing the top layer of rubber unevenness in the form of dents will be revealed, it will be necessary to level them with a special putty. The alignment procedure is carried out by means of puttying dents. To smooth out the irregularities, it is worth using only specially designed means, which are sold in car stores. Read also, choosing shock absorbers for your trunk lid or hood. Next, the tire is subject to thorough grinding, which will remove small defects or irregularities that occur after machining on the machine. The next stage of work, degreasing the working surface and gluing the new tread onto the workpiece. Tread rubber has an adhesive base, which allows it to be firmly attached to the surface of the tire. This procedure should be performed very slowly and carefully to avoid distortions and curvature, which will further affect the safety of the vehicle during its operation. The slightest misalignments can cause not only a decrease in the life of the chassis, but also act as a provocateur of an accident situation due to the deterioration of the controllability of the vehicle. After carrying out the manipulations preceding the welding procedure, it is necessary to proceed to the packaging of the tire, which will allow in the process of heat treatment to maintain its correct configuration. To do this, it is necessary to put the tire with a tube on the wheel or fix it with two tubes outside and inside. The final stage is to place the structure in an autoclave, where, after the oxygen supply is connected, under the influence of high temperature conditions, the splice of the tire base and tread into a single whole product will take place. The welded tires, after removal from the autoclave, can only be visually assessed for manufacturing defects, which is unlikely if the process is performed correctly and can be used for their intended purpose. Professionals recommend using independent tread welding as an option for its restoration, mainly for trucks. If you need to restore the wheels of passenger cars, it is better to use the services of professionals, as independent welding can affect the load factor of the wheel, which is unsafe in operation. Owners who prefer calm driving, extreme and maneuverable trips better absolutely refuse to weld tires on passenger cars. Use only new tires with reliable, factory tread. Let's summarize. Despite the ambiguous attitude of domestic consumers to the process of welding tires, this method of tire restoration has long been used throughout the world, refers to effective and reliable methods of extending their operational life. Many service centers in Russia provide such services, providing a decent warranty on the work performed. At home, this procedure is also feasible if the performer has special equipment necessary for the qualitative performance of the process. Specialists advise to refrain from independent restoration of passenger car tires, as only professionals will be able to assess the cost-effectiveness and feasibility of restoring the tire, and restored truck rubber at home is mainly used on the rear axle of the vehicle to avoid its rupture due to the likelihood of non-compliance with welding technology. Professionally welded tires are not inferior to new products. Their performance and quality indicators are at a decent level, which allows their use in the standard mode.